Morning comes slowly in upstate New York, settling over tall pines and the soft hum of country air. In that quiet, Peter Dinklage eases into his day, far from the noise of sets and city schedules. Here, the world moves at a gentler pace, his children playing in the yard, sunlight slipping across old wood floors, and nature folding itself into every corner of the home. It's a retreat built not for show, but for breathing, creating, and living simply. Today, we step inside that space to see the life he's shaped away from the spotlight. Before stepping into this quiet rhythm, let us return to 1969 in Morristown, New Jersey. Peter Dinklage was born into a warm, middle-class family shaped by his father's discipline and his mother's love of music. Achondroplasia marked his difference from an early age, bringing frustration and hurt in a world that did not always understand him. But in that same home was his brother, Jonathan, a young violinist who became both a companion and a reminder that talent, once nurtured, can open its own path. His first taste of the stage came unexpectedly in 5th grade, when he played the lead in The Velveteen Rabbit and felt for the first time the strange electricity of performing in front of others. That spark followed him into Del Barton School, but it was a 1984 production of True West that broke him open. A moment he often calls the turning point, when acting became not just a possibility, but a calling. He carried that conviction to Bennington College, graduating in 1991 with a drama degree and an idea that New York City might be where everything began. But New York was harsh. The small theater company he tried to build with a friend fell apart after just a few months because they couldn't even pay the rent. To survive, Dinklage spent 6 years working at a data processing job while auditioning whenever he could. Harder than the money struggle was the way the industry kept offering him the same roles he didn't believe in. Elves, goblins, characters played for laughs. He refused them all. That choice slowed everything, but it also shaped who he became. He would rather wait for a role that treated him with dignity than accept one that made him feel small. His breakthrough arrived quietly. In 1995's Living in Oblivion, he delivered a brief but unforgettable performance. A moment of raw truth inside a satirical film that suddenly made people notice him. From there, he built momentum through stage work and independent films, earning his first major spotlight in 2003 with The Station Agent. It was the role that turned casting agents, critics, and audiences toward him, revealing a depth and stillness that few actors could command. What followed was a career that moved across genres and scales. Elf, Lassie, Find Me Guilty, Death at a Funeral, X-Men, Days of Future Past, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Avengers, Infinity War, and his growing work in voice acting, from Ice Age to the Angry Birds movie to Transformers, Rise of the Beasts. At the same time, he built a quiet presence on stage, and later expanded into producing with the founding of Estuary Films in 2016. But the defining chapter of his career arrived in 2009, when he became the very first actor cast in HBO's Game of Thrones. For 8 seasons, from 2011 to 2019, his portrayal of Tyrion Lannister reshaped what television acting could look like. A performance that blended sharp wit, bruised humanity, moral conflict, and emotional clarity. He became the heart of the series, earning 4 Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe, and dozens of nominations recognizing the power and precision of his work. From the anger of his childhood to the global reach of Game of Thrones, Dinklage built a career by choosing dignity over convenience and truth over expectation, rising on his own terms, one hard-won role at a time. Ending this chapter, his story continues in the places he retreats to. His home in New York, where his quiet life unfolds. Upstate New York Retreat. On the quiet hills of Stone Ridge, where the mornings open in slow silver light and the air carries a softness that feels almost old world, Peter Dinklage has found the kind of refuge that doesn't simply shelter a family, it wraps around them. His 80-acre estate in upstate New York, valued at more than $4.5 million, unfolds like a private resort carved into the landscape, a place where elegance and countryside living meet in perfect balance. The long driveway winds gently through manicured lawns and bursts of hydrangeas, every turn revealing another vignette of stillness. A pond catching the sky, a line of willows bending toward the water, the Catskills rising quietly in the distance. It feels like the world slows its pace here, inviting you to do the same. At the center of the estate sits an 1800s farmhouse perched above the lake, its pale exterior and simple roofline holding the charm of a home that has lived many lives. Inside, the rooms glow with natural light, wide plank floors warmed by the sun, exposed beams that carry the history of the house, and fireplaces that gather the family on cold Hudson Valley evenings. The floor plan stays true to its origins, intimate, practical, built for real living, but every corner has been refreshed with care, giving the home a quiet grace that mirrors its owner. Outside the main house, a bluestone terrace opens to one of the estate's most striking spaces, an outdoor kitchen and dining area wrapped beneath a pergola threaded with climbing vines. At night, strings of lights wash the stone in a soft golden haze, turning dinner into something that feels half celebration, half sanctuary. From there, the property stretches outward in layers, gardens, stone walls, and rolling hills that fall gently toward the water. Just a short walk away, a pavilion-like living space redefines what outdoor comfort can be. High ceilings, a dramatic stone fireplace, and wide curtains that unfurl toward the view make it feel less like a room and more like a breath. Open, effortless, connected directly to the landscape. It's the kind of place where a family can gather for long afternoons, never quite inside, never fully outdoors. Down a set of stone steps sits the pool terrace, bordered by hydrangeas that bloom in clouds of white and pink. The pool house is a small luxury of its own, a glass-lined hideaway with a kitchenette, a full bath, heating, and even a sauna, a retreat within a retreat. Accordion doors fold away completely, letting the breeze move through the rooms and carrying the scent of the surrounding gardens. For moments of play, the estate shifts tone. A full-size tennis and basketball court sits tucked beside the trees, a spot where his children can run freely and where the family's quieter rhythms give way to the sound of bouncing balls and laughter drifting across the property. Adjacent to the farmhouse, a two-car garage holds a surprise, an airy studio above it, perfect for guests or an artist's corner. Big windows frame the gardens below, and a small patio opens to a private vegetable plot bordered by white fencing. Further into the woods, another guest house rests at the end of a winding path designed for privacy and slow mornings, offering visitors a separate world while still held within the estate's embrace. The land widens as you travel deeper into it. Fenced pastures slope toward a pair of red barns, one used for animals and equipment, the other transformed into a car collector's dream. 4,000 square feet of polished concrete floors, commercial-grade doors, heating, and a loft suspended above it all. It's functional, beautiful, and infused with the rustic charm of upstate New York. Across a small country road, a second pond completes the picture. A stone bridge arches gently over the water, the sound of the stream filling the air with a rhythm that feels older than the house itself. It's the kind of detail that turns land into memory, and memory into home. This is where Peter Dinklage and his young family live today, choosing the quiet certainty of the Hudson Valley over the noise of the industry. A place shaped by trees, light, and the steady hum of nature. A place where his life slows down just enough to feel whole. From these quiet hills, we follow him into a very different space, a New York apartment where he and his family stay whenever work demands the city's pace. Apartment in Manhattan. In the city, Peter Dinklage lives differently. The pace tightens, the streets rise around him, and the days stretch long with work. That's when he and his family slip into their Manhattan apartment, a 1,613 square foot space that trades countryside quiet for something slimmer, brighter, and closer to everything he needs. Floor-to-ceiling windows pull in the southern light, softening the room and washing the hardwood floors in a warm, steady glow. The living area opens wide, shaped to hold both a family lounge and a small dining corner, the kind of everyday space that feels lived in even when they've only just arrived from upstate. From the sofa, the view is a row of old brick buildings and fire escapes, the kind of New York backdrop that settles into your mind without ever asking for attention. Slide open the door, and the small balcony brings a breath of the city. Not loud, just present. A place where he can drink coffee in the morning while the kids point out rooftops and passing pigeons. The kitchen sits tucked to the side, narrow but polished, lined with clean cabinetry and modern appliances that shine against the darker counters. Under-cabinet lighting softens the space, making it feel calmer than most city kitchens, almost like a quiet hallway where meals begin before they ever reach the table. Down the corridor, the primary bedroom holds a gentler rhythm. A king bed sits beneath tall windows, framing the skyline and giving the room a soft, muted brightness. The walk-in closet keeps the space uncluttered, and the ensuite bathroom extends the calm. Stone tiles, a soaking tub, and a separate walk-in shower that feels almost spa-like after long shooting days. The secondary bedrooms mirror that simplicity. Big windows, clean lines, and enough space for the kids to spread their things without overwhelming the room. It's a layout built for short stays that somehow manages to feel like home. What surrounds the apartment is its own world. Designed by Philippe Starck, the building folds luxury into quiet corners. A fitness center with steam and sauna, a screening room, a billiards lounge flushed with soft light, and a full-floor common room that feels more like a private club than an amenity. Step outside to the rooftop terrace, and the city opens completely. River on one side, skyline on the other. A reminder of how close everything becomes when they stay here. In this Manhattan apartment, life becomes simpler for the Dinklage family. Brighter mornings, familiar routines, and a place that holds them gently while the city rushes outside. It's the balance he leans on whenever work pulls him back into New York. And from this quiet base, the rhythms of his real life come into focus. The people, habits, and moments that keep him grounded. Car collection. The first car that quietly follows Peter Dinklage through his everyday life is the Audi A6 Avant, a black wagon that fits the way he prefers to move in the world. Steady, discreet, and without ceremony. It's often the car scene when he's traveling with his family, the long roofline making room for bags, toys, or whatever a day outside home requires. Inside, the soft cabin feels almost like an extension of his private life, where the noise of work fades and the rhythms of being a father take over. Priced at $28,000, the Audi isn't for show. It simply gives him a quiet, comfortable space between work and home. The Toyota Mirai carries a different kind of energy. Smooth, silent, and unmistakably modern. Powered by a hydrogen fuel cell system and known for its near-soundless drive, it's the car that brings him to premieres, interviews, and nights where the world suddenly remembers he's a global star. Stepping out of the Mirai onto a red carpet, he keeps the same grounded presence he has everywhere else, as if the flash of cameras is just another passing light. The Mirai, estimated at $40,000 with a range of around 400 miles, suits him not because it's futuristic, but because it refuses to shout. It aligns with the way he manages fame, with distance, intention, and a quiet sort of grace. But it's the Volkswagen Golf, small and red, that reveals the gentlest part of his real life. This is the car for grocery runs, school drop-offs, and drives with his wife that feel like small escapes. Nothing about it suggests Hollywood, and maybe that's the point. At around $18,000, the golf gives him something fame rarely does: a chance to blend in, move simply, and let a normal day stay normal. Together, these cars paint a quiet picture of who Peter Dinklage is off-screen, a man who values ease, privacy, and the kind of everyday comfort that lets life feel simple, even when fame isn't. Now, from the stillness of his drives, we shift to the financial journey that has carried him through decades of work. Income and net worth. Peter Dinklage stands today with a net worth of $25 million, a number that tells only a fraction of the story. His financial journey didn't begin with fame or comfort. It began with a quiet belief in the kind of work he wanted to do. The station agent paid him around $100,000, a modest sum but a turning point that signaled he was no longer just fighting for roles. He was earning them on his terms. Those early checks from films like Elf, Find Me Guilty, and Death at a Funeral weren't large, but they arrived steadily, giving him room to breathe and the confidence to keep choosing roles that felt honest. Then came the job that changed everything. When Game of Thrones cast him as Tyrion Lannister, the industry finally caught up to what audiences would soon see: that Dinklage carried a rare mix of intelligence, humor, and emotional clarity. By the final 2 seasons, he earned $1,100,000 per episode, bringing in $14,300,000 across 14 episodes. Earlier seasons added $10 million, and his total earnings from the series climbed beyond $30 million. But behind those numbers was something deeper. A performance so essential that the world began to see him not for his stature, but for his craft. His work outside Westeros continued that momentum. Larger studio films brought larger paychecks, about $1,500,000 for X-Men. Days of Future Past, around $700,000 for 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, and close to $2 million for Avengers: Infinity War. Even his voice roles carried weight, with projects like The Croods, A New Age and Ice Age, Continental Drift, adding reliable income while expanding the range of audiences who knew his work. But the most telling chapter of his financial life may be the one he built for himself. In 2016, he co-founded Estuary Films, stepping into producing with the same quiet determination that shaped his acting choices. Their first film, I Think We're Alone Now, earned him roughly $600,000. But more importantly, it represented ownership, a chance to shape stories instead of waiting for them. Today, that net worth reflects more than contracts or salaries. It reflects a career built slowly, intentionally, and without surrendering the dignity he fought for in his early years. Every major check came from a role he believed in. Every turning point came from trusting that the long path, the harder one, would ultimately be the right one. His financial climb is less about numbers and more about conviction. A slow, steady rise built on choices that honored his talent and the life he wanted to live. It is a fortune shaped with intention, not speed. And that same steady spirit continues into how he gives, quietly and with purpose. Philanthropy. Peter Dinklage has never treated philanthropy as a performance. His compassion has always moved quietly, beginning with the cause closest to his heart: protecting animals who cannot protect themselves. Through several campaigns, he helped raise $200,000 to $300,000 for farm animals trapped in industrial systems, not through publicity, but through the sincerity in his voice. As a spokesperson for farm sanctuaries Walk for Farm Animals, he walked beside ordinary supporters, not as a star, but as someone who simply refused to look away. That same conviction shaped his work with Cruelty Free International, where he pushed to end cosmetic animal testing and supported campaigns that raised over $500,000. Quietly, he also donated to small rescue groups, treating advocacy not as charity, but responsibility. At the height of Game of Thrones fame, he confronted an unexpected issue: fans adopting huskies to mimic direwolves, then abandoning them. Partnering with PETA, he helped raise nearly $1 million for shelters and awareness campaigns, urging adoption over impulse trends, a message that saved thousands of dogs. When he appeared in the documentary Change, Not Charity, the ADA at 25, he declined his $50,000 fee and donated it to a nonprofit supporting artists with disabilities. It wasn't a gesture of pity, it was solidarity, a way of standing beside people whose voices deserved to be heard. Across decades, his philanthropy has quietly surpassed $2 million. But the true measure of his giving isn't in the totals, it's in the consistency, the way he shows up without lights, microphones, or applause. His generosity is an extension of who he is, deliberate, thoughtful, and deeply rooted in empathy. Dinklage gives the way he acts, with honesty, restraint, and a quiet strength. His impact isn't loud, but it lasts, carried forward by every life touched and every cause lifted in his steady, unspoken way. Beyond the causes he champions, his private world reveals the same quiet depth, the life he protects far from the noise of fame. Personal life. Far from Hollywood's noise, Peter Dinklage has shaped a life that feels more like refuge than retreat. He and his wife, theater director Erica Schmidt, live quietly in upstate New York with their 2 children. No public names, no cameras waiting by the door, just the steady rhythm of a family that values privacy over spectacle. Their world is intentionally small, centered on laughter, routine, and the quiet certainty of being exactly where they want to be. Most mornings, Dinklage starts slow, him biking through tree-lined streets or stopping for coffee with his daughter before school. A simple ritual, marked by the smile he shares with the barista who already knows his order. On weekends, the family moves outdoors, walking trails, tending the garden, letting their kids wander through the yard while he trims herbs or checks on whatever is growing. He handles his plants with the same stillness he brings to his acting, patient, attentive, rooted. His lifestyle follows that same simplicity. A longtime vegetarian, he feels more at home in a farmer's market than at a film premiere. When he's not working, he cooks. Hearty, honest meals built from fresh produce, lentil stews simmering on the stove, basil clipped from the garden. Evenings often end with a glass of wine shared with Erica, their conversations lingering long after the kids go to bed. He keeps his circle small but close. Friends describe him as thoughtful, dry-humored, and deeply present, the kind of person who listens more than he speaks, who chooses connection over attention every time. This past summer, he and Erica slipped away to southern Italy, staying at a quiet boutique inn called Clementina di Mora di Charme. No red carpets, no press, just good friends, home-cooked meals, and slow mornings in olive groves. A kind of peace fame can't buy. In the life he lives now, Dinklage has found something rare, a pace that finally feels like his own. Far from scripts and bright lights, he's built a world shaped by calm rather than applause, held together by family, simple routines, and the quiet joy of everyday moments. If this glimpse into his world resonates with you, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. More stories of fame lived gently and honestly are waiting here.